Discovery and infection. The red sun of Novaterra cast an eerie glow over the sprawling human colony as Dr. Ilara Chen made her way through the bustling streets of New Hope City. It had been 50 years since the first colonists arrived on this distant world, transforming the alien landscape into a thriving outpost of humanity. As the lead xenobiologist at the Novaterra Research Institute, Ilara had dedicated her life to understanding the planet's unique ecosystem. Little did she know that today would change everything. As she entered her lab, Ilara's assistant, Zach, rushed up to her with a look of excitement and concern on his face. "Dr. Chen, you need to see this immediately," he said, leading her to a containment chamber where a strange, pulsating mass of organic material writhed behind thick glass. Ilara's eyes widened. "What is that?" "We're not sure," Zach replied. "The survey team found it in the Crimson Forest. It doesn't match any known life form on Novaterra." As they studied the bizarre organism, neither of them noticed the microscopic particles that had already escaped the containment field, floating unseen through the air. Over the next few days, reports of a strange illness began to surface across New Hope City. People complained of fever, disorientation, and most alarmingly, a compulsion to seek out and touch others. The infection spread rapidly, defying all attempts at quarantine. Governor Marcus Steele stood at the window of his office, overlooking the city he had sworn to protect. The streets below were chaos, with infected individuals pursuing the uninfected, their eyes glowing with an unnatural light. "How bad is it?" he asked, not turning from the window. Dr. Chen, now serving as head of the emergency response team, cleared her throat. "It's unlike anything we've ever seen, Governor. The pathogen rewrites human DNA, turning the infected into carriers. They're compelled to spread the infection through physical contact." Steele's jaw clenched, and containment. "Impossible at this point," Ilara admitted. "We estimate 60% of the population is already infected. But there's something else." The governor turned, his eyes questioning. "The virus. It's not natural. The genetic structure is too perfect, too engineered. Sir, we believe this is a weapon." Steele's face paled. "A weapon? But who would?" His words were cut short by the blaring of alarms. Outside, the sky lit up as massive ships appeared in low orbit, their hulls gleaming with an otherworldly metal. "I think we're about to find out," Ilara whispered. As panic gripped the colony, a small team of uninfected scientists and security personnel gathered in a secure bunker beneath the city. Among them was Captain Aidan Drake, head of colony security, his face grim as he addressed the group. "Listen up, people. We're facing an unknown alien threat and a pandemic that's turning our own people against us. But we're not beaten yet. Dr. Chen, what have you got?" Ilara stepped forward, her holographic display showing the virus's structure. "The good news is, not everyone is susceptible. About 5% of the population seems to have a natural immunity. The bad news, the virus is evolving, adapting to overcome our defenses." "So what's the plan?" someone asked. Captain Drake's eyes hardened. "We fight. We find a cure. And we show these aliens that humanity isn't so easy to conquer." As the team began to formulate their strategy, none of them could have imagined the incredible journey that lay ahead. A journey that would push humanity to its limits and reveal strengths they never knew they possessed. Outside, the alien ships loomed over New Hope City, their presence a silent threat. But within the secure bunker, a spark of human resilience began to ignite. The battle for Novaterra, and perhaps the future of humanity itself, was about to begin. Understanding the threat, days turned into weeks as the remnants of uninfected humanity on Novaterra fought to survive and understand the alien threat that had turned their world upside down. Dr. Ilara Chen worked tirelessly in the underground lab, her eyes red-rimmed from lack of sleep as she peered into a microscope. "Incredible," she murmured, looking up at her team. "The virus isn't just rewriting our DNA, it's creating entirely new neural pathways. Dr. Raj Patel, a neurobiologist, leaned in to examine the samples. It's like it's trying to reshape human consciousness itself. But to what end? Their discussion was interrupted by the arrival of Captain Drake, his face etched with worry. "We've got a problem," he announced. "The infected have started building something. We need answers, and we need them now." Ilara nodded grimly. "We've made some progress. The virus appears to be a form of programmable matter, almost nanotech in nature. It's far beyond anything humanity has ever developed. So we're definitely dealing with an alien intelligence," Drake concluded. "Yes, but there's more," Ilara continued. "We've been analyzing the immunity some humans have shown. It appears to be linked to a dormant gene sequence, one that's present in all humans, but active in only a few." Dr. Patel's eyes widened. "Are you suggesting this isn't the first time humanity has encountered this threat?" Before Ilara could respond, alarms blared through the facility. Security footage showed a group of infected breaking through the outer defenses, their movements eerily coordinated. "We need more time," Ilara pleaded as Drake ushered them towards an escape route. "Time's the one thing we don't have, Doc," the captain replied grimly. As they fled deeper into the underground network, the team was forced to confront the terrifying reality of their situation. The infected weren't just mindless carriers. They were becoming something else entirely. Meanwhile, high above Novaterra, aboard the alien flagship, two figures observed the chaos unfolding on the planet below. "The humans are proving more resilient than anticipated," said one, its voice a synthetic hum. The other, taller and adorned with bioluminescent patterns, replied, "They always do. That's why we created the Reshape Protocol. Soon, they will be perfect additions to the collective." Back on the surface, survivors from other parts of the colony had begun to trickle into the hidden resistance base. Among them was Dr. Liam Connor, a geneticist who had been working on a remote research station when the infection hit. "I might have something," Liam announced to the team, pulling up his research on a holographic display. "I've been studying the dormant gene sequence Dr. Chen discovered. It appears to be some kind of evolutionary failsafe, possibly engineered into our DNA thousands of years ago." Ilara's mind raced with the implications. A failsafe against what? "Against them," Liam said, pointing to an image of the alien ships. "I believe humanity has faced this threat before, in our distant past, and somehow, we won." The revelation sent shockwaves through the resistance. If humanity had defeated these aliens before, perhaps they could do it again. But how? As the team debated their next move, a young technician named Maya burst into the room. "You need to see this," she said, her voice trembling with excitement and fear. She pulled up a communication intercept on the main screen. The message was like nothing they had ever seen. A complex, multidimensional data stream that seemed to shift and change as they watched. "It's from the alien ships," Maya explained. "I've been working on decoding it, and I think it's an ultimatum." Captain Drake's eyes narrowed. "Can you translate it?" Maya nodded, her fingers flying over the console. Slowly, the alien script transformed into English. "Humanity of Novater. Your resistance is futile and misguided. The Reshape Protocol is not destruction, but ascension. Join us in TEQOLECTID or face EXTINCTION. You have 24 hours to surrender." A heavy silence fell over the room as the implications of the message stank in. The aliens weren't just invading, they were offering a choice, a terrible, world-altering choice. Dr. Chen's mind was already racing, connecting the dots between the virus, the dormant gene, and this collective the aliens spoke of. "They're not trying to kill us," she realized aloud. "They're trying to assimilate us, to remake humanity in their image." Captain Drake's jaw set in determination. Well, they're going to find out that humanity isn't so easily reshaped. We've beaten them before, and we'll do it again. As the team mobilized to face this new challenge, none of them could shake the feeling that they were standing on the precipice of a battle that would determine not just the fate of Novaterra, but the very future of human identity itself. Outside, the alien ships pulsed with ominous energy, their ultimatum hanging over the colony like a sword of Damocles. But within the heart of the resistance, a plan was forming. A plan that would push the boundaries of human potential and challenge the very nature of evolution itself. The clock was ticking. Humanity had 24 hours to find a way to fight back against a force that sought to redefine what it meant to be human. The greatest battle in human history was about to begin, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Alien confrontation. As the 24-hour deadline approached, tension gripped the underground resistance base. Dr. Ilara Chen and her team worked feverishly to unlock the secrets of the dormant gene, while Captain Drake coordinated what remained of Novaterra's defense forces. "We need to buy more time," Ilara insisted, her eyes bloodshot from endless hours of research. "If we can activate the dormant gene in more of the population, we might have a chance to resist the reshape protocol." Drake nodded grimly. "I'll see what I can do. But we need to be prepared for direct confrontation." As if on cue, the communications array crackled to life. Maya's eyes widened as she interpreted the incoming signal. They're requesting a meeting, face to face. The resistance leaders exchanged wary glances. It could be a trap, but it could also be their best chance to gather crucial information. "I'll go," Drake volunteered, his hand resting on his sidearm. Ilara stepped forward. "Not alone, you won't. They'll need a scientist to understand whatever they're proposing." As Drake and Ilara prepared for the encounter, the rest of the team continued their work. Dr. Liam Connor had made a breakthrough in understanding the dormant gene's function. "It's not just resistance to the virus," he explained excitedly. "The gene seems to unlock latent abilities in human physiology. Enhanced strength, accelerated healing, even limited telepathic capabilities." Dr. Patel looked up from his own research. "Are you saying we have superpowers?" Liam shook his head. "Not exactly. But our ancestors developed these traits as a defense mechanism, if we can reactivate them." Their discussion was interrupted as Drake and Ilara departed for the meeting point, a neutral zone established in the heart of New Hope City. The streets were eerily quiet as they made their way through the once bustling metropolis. The infected were nowhere to be seen, having retreated to their mysterious construction projects. As they approached the city center, they saw them for the first time, the aliens. 3 tall, luminescent beings stood waiting, their forms seeming to shimmer and shift in the fading light. The tallest of the 3 stepped forward, its voice resonating not in the air, but directly in their minds. "We are the collective. We bring unity and purpose to all sentient life." Ilara fought to maintain her composure in the face of the alien presence. "You bring enslavement and the destruction of individual identity," she countered. The alien's form rippled, as if in amusement. "Such limited perspective. We offer transcendence beyond your current form. The virus is but the first step in your evolution." Drake's hand tightened on his weapon. "And if we refuse, then you will be left behind," the alien replied. "The reshaped will become the dominant form of life on this planet. Your kind will wither and die, relics of an obsolete existence." As the alien spoke, Ilara felt a strange resonance within her mind. The dormant gene, she realized, was reacting to their presence. She pushed the sensation aside, focusing on gathering information. "Why now?" she asked. "If you've encountered humanity before, why wait until we've spread to the stars?" The aliens exchanged what might have been a glance. "Your kind has proven resilient. Previous attempts at integration were unsuccessful, but now, with your colonies isolated from Earth, the time is right for ascension." Drake stepped forward, his voice hard. "We've beaten you before. We'll do it again." The lead alien's form pulsed with what might have been anger. "You prolong the inevitable. Join us willingly, or watch as your world is remade without you." With that, The aliens vanished, leaving Drake and Ilara alone in the empty plaza. As they hurried back to the base, Ilara's mind raced. "They're afraid of us," she realized aloud. "Whatever happened in the past, humanity found a way to drive them off. That's why they're giving us a choice now." Drake nodded grimly. "But we're running out of time. How close are we to activating that dormant gene?" Before Ilara could respond, the ground shook beneath their feet. In the distance, massive structures began to rise from the alien construction sites, towering monoliths that pulsed with the same energy as the ships above. "Too close," Ilara whispered. Back at the resistance base, chaos erupted as sensors detected a massive energy buildup. The alien ultimatum had been a ruse. The reshaped protocol was already beginning. Liam burst into the command center, his face pale. "We've got it," he exclaimed. "We know how to activate the dormant gene." But what?" Drake demanded. Liam swallowed hard. "It requires a massive surge of the same energy the aliens are using. We'd have to tap directly into one of those monoliths." The implications were clear. To save humanity, they would have to risk everything on a desperate gambit. As alarms blared and the very air seemed to vibrate with alien energy, the resistance leaders faced a moment of truth. They had unlocked the key to humanity's hidden potential, but accessing it would mean a direct confrontation with the full might of the collective. Ilara looked around at the faces of her team. Scientists, soldiers, and survivors united in their determination to resist. In that moment, she knew what they had to do. "Prepare for battle," she said, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her. "It's time to show the collective what humanity is really capable of." As the resistance mobilized for their most daring mission yet, the skies above Novaterra lit up with otherworldly energies. The final confrontation between humanity and the collective was about to begin. A battle that would determine the very future of human evolution. The human advantage. The resistance moved swiftly through the shadows of New Hope City, their goal clear but the path fraught with danger. Captain Drake led the assault team, while Dr. Chen and her scientific crew followed close behind, carrying hastily assembled equipment designed to tap into the alien energy. As they approached the nearest monolith, the air crackled with power. The massive structure loomed above them, its surface rippling with patterns of light that seemed to defy the laws of physics. "We've got company," Drake whispered, gesturing towards a group of infected humans guarding the base of the monolith. Their eyes glowed with an unnatural light, and their movements were unnervingly coordinated. Ilara studied the infected through her binoculars. "They're not just mindless drones anymore," she observed. "The reshaped protocol is accelerating their transformation." Drake nodded grimly. "Then we'd better move fast. Maya, you're up." The young technician stepped forward, activating a device that emitted a complex series of tones. The infected guards twitched and stumbled, momentarily disoriented by the sonic interference. "Now," Drake shouted, and the team sprang into action. As the assault team engaged the guards, Ilara and her scientists raced towards the monolith. They began setting up their equipment, hands shaking with a mixture of fear and excitement. "We'll only get one shot at this," Ilara reminded them. "Once we start the energy transfer, the collective will know exactly what we're doing." Dr. Patel finished calibrating the final sensor. "Ready when you are, Dr. Chen." Ilara took a deep breath and activated the device. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a sound like reality itself tearing, a stream of scintillating energy burst from the monolith and into their equipment. The effect was immediate and staggering. Ilara felt a surge of power coursing through her body, every cell suddenly alive with potential. Around her, she saw her teammates experiencing the same transformation. Drake, locked in combat with an infected guard, suddenly found himself moving with inhuman speed and precision. He dodged a blow that would have crushed his skull, retaliating with a strike that sent his opponent flying. "It's working," Liam shouted over the comlink. "The dormant gene is activating across the resistance." But their victory was short-lived. The sky above New Hope City lit up as the alien ships descended, their weapons charging with ominous intent. The voice of the collective boomed across the city, resonating in the minds of all who heard it. Your resistance is impressive, but futile. The reshaped protocol cannot be stopped. As if to emphasize the point, the infected began to change before their eyes. Their bodies twisted and morphed, taking on alien characteristics. Some developed additional limbs, while others' skin became translucent, revealing pulsing organs of unknown purpose. They're adapting, Ilara realized with horror. The virus is rewriting their DNA in real time. Drake's voice crackled over the comm. We need to fall back. We can't hold this position. But as the team prepared to retreat, Ilara made a startling discovery. Wait, she called out. Look at the monolith. The massive structure was vibrating, its surface rippling like water. As they watched, cracks began to appear, spreading across its gleaming surface. The energy transfer, Liam exclaimed. It's destabilizing the alien technology. Ilara's mind raced. If we can replicate this effect on a larger scale. Her thoughts were interrupted by a deafening roar. The infected were charging en masse, their newly transformed bodies moving with terrifying speed and strength. Fall back to the secondary position, Drake ordered. We need time to formulate a plan. As the resistance retreated through the chaotic streets of New Hope City, Ilara couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the verge of a breakthrough. The dormant gene had unlocked incredible potential within them, but it was clear that raw power alone wouldn't be enough to defeat the collective. They regrouped in an abandoned warehouse, the sounds of battle echoing in the distance. Ilara quickly shared her observations with the team. The monolith's instability suggests a fundamental incompatibility between the alien technology and activated human DNA, she explained. If we can amplify that effect, we might be able to disrupt the entire reshape protocol. Dr. Patel nodded enthusiastically. Like using our own biology as a virus against their systems. Exactly, Ilara confirmed. But to do that, we'd need to get much closer to their main power source. All eyes turned to the massive alien flagship hovering above the city center. Captain Drake's expression was grim. That's a suicide mission, Doc. Maybe not, Maya interjected, her eyes gleaming with newfound confidence. I've been analyzing the alien communications. There are gaps in their defenses, blind spots we could exploit. Liam stepped forward, his body still thrumming with activated energy. And with our enhanced abilities, we might just stand a chance. Drake looked around at his team, seeing the determination in their eyes. Despite the overwhelming odds, there was a spark of hope, a uniquely human resilience that even the advanced alien collective hadn't anticipated. All right, he said finally. Let's show these aliens what humanity is really capable of. Dr. Chen, what do you need to amplify the disruptive effect? Ilara quickly outlined her plan, and the team sprang into action. As they prepared for their most daring mission yet, the air was charged with a mix of fear and exhilaration. Outside, the alien ships continued their ominous descent, and the transformed infected roamed the streets in ever-growing numbers. But within the heart of the resistance, a plan was forming. A plan that would push the boundaries of human potential and challenge the very nature of evolution itself. As night fell over New Hope City, the resistance made their final preparations. They knew that the coming battle would determine not just the fate of Novaterra, but the very future of humanity. With their newfound abilities and unbreakable spirit, they prepared to face the collective in a confrontation that would echo across the stars. The stage was set for the final showdown between humanity and the alien force that sought to reshape them. As Ilara looked at her team, she felt a surge of pride and determination. Whatever the outcome, they would face it together, as humans, diverse, adaptable, and unbreakable. Triumph of humanity. The pre-dawn sky over New Hope City was ablaze with alien energies as the resistance team made their final approach to the collective's flagship. Captain Drake led the way, his enhanced senses alert for any sign of danger. Dr. Ilara Chen followed close behind, carrying the device they hoped would turn the tide of this war. "Remember," Ilara whispered to her team, "our goal is to reach the ship's core and overload it with our amplified human DNA signature. If we succeed, it should create a cascading failure throughout their entire network." As they neared the massive ship, Maya activated her cloaking device, a patchwork of human and salvaged alien tech. The air around them shimmered, and for a moment, Ilara feared it wouldn't work. But the alien sentries remained oblivious to their presence. "Remind me to give you a raise if we survive this," Drake muttered to Maya, who grinned despite the tension. They made their way through the alien vessel, its organic corridors pulsing with an otherworldly light. The further they went, the more Ilara could feel the ship's energy resonating with her activated genes. It was simultaneously exhilarating and terrifying. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. "They've detected us," Liam shouted, his hands flying over a stolen alien console. "The collective is mobilizing." Drake's eyes hardened. "Then we fight our way through. Remember your training, and remember what we're fighting for." The corridors erupted into chaos as waves of transformed humans and alien constructs converged on the resistance team. But the humans were no longer easy prey. With their enhanced abilities, they met the onslaught head-on. Ilara watched in awe as her teammates displayed feats of strength and agility that would have been impossible just days ago. Drake moved like lightning, his reflexes allowing him to anticipate and counter attacks before they even began. Maya's technopathic abilities let her disrupt alien systems with a thought, while Liam's accelerated cognition allowed him to outmaneuver opponents with ease. But the collective was adapting quickly. With each passing moment, their attacks became more coordinated, more deadly. The resistance found themselves pushed back, cornered in a vast chamber that seemed to be the heart of the ship. "There," Ilara shouted, pointing to a pulsating organic structure at the center of the room. "That's the core. We need to get the device there." Drake nodded grimly. "I'll clear a path. The rest of you, cover Dr. Chen." With a primal roar, the captain charged forward, his body glowing with activated energy. The alien forces scattered before him, but Ilara knew it was only a temporary advantage. She sprinted towards the core, the device clutched tightly to her chest. Around her, her teammates fought with everything they had, buying her precious seconds. Just as she reached the core, a massive figure materialized before her. The leader of the collective, its form shifting and writhing with barely contained power. "You cannot win," it intoned, its voice resonating painfully in Ilara's mind. "The reshape protocol is destiny. Why do you resist ascension?" Ilara stood her ground, feeling the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. "Because our diversity is our strength," she declared. "We don't need to be reshaped. We evolve on our own terms." With that, she slammed the device into the core. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a sound like 1,000 screaming suns, energy exploded outward. Ilara felt herself falling, her consciousness expanding beyond the confines of her body. She saw flashes of human history, past, present, and potential futures. She saw the collective's previous attempts to reshape humanity and the ancestors who had driven them back. She saw the dormant gene, a failsafe engineered by those same ancestors, waiting for the moment it would be needed again. And then, as suddenly as it began, it was over. Ilara found herself back in the alien ship, surrounded by her team. The collective leader was gone, and the ship's systems were shutting down around them. "Did it work?" Drake asked, helping Ilara to her feet. Before she could answer, Maya's voice came over the comm, filled with excitement. "You did it. The reshape protocol is collapsing across the entire planet. The infected are reverting to normal." Cheers erupted from the team, but Ilara knew their work wasn't finished. "We need to broadcast what we've learned," she said urgently, "to warn Earth and the other colonies." In the days that followed, the survivors of Novaterra began the long process of rebuilding. The alien ships had fallen from the sky, inert husks of a threat now vanquished. Those who had been infected were slowly recovering, their bodies and minds returning to normal. But humanity itself had been forever changed. The activation of the dormant gene had unlocked potential that would reshape society in ways they were only beginning to understand. As Ilara stood on a hilltop overlooking New Hope City, she felt a mix of hope and trepidation for the future. They had faced extinction and emerged stronger, but she knew there would be new challenges ahead. "Penny for your thoughts, Doc," Drake asked, joining her at the overlook. Ilara smiled. "I was just thinking about what we tell Earth, about everything that's happened here." Drake nodded thoughtfully. "We tell them the truth, that when faced with annihilation, humanity didn't just survive, we evolved. That our greatest strength isn't in some alien reshape protocol, but in our ability to adapt, to come together in the face of adversity." "And what about the dormant gene?" Ilara asked. "The abilities it's unlocked." "That's the next great frontier," Drake replied. "But this time, we explore it on our terms, as humans." As the sun set on Novaterra, casting the alien wreckage in a golden light, Ilara felt a surge of pride and determination. They had faced the ultimate test and emerged victorious. Whatever challenges the future held, she knew that humanity would face them together, stronger and more united than ever before. The viral frontier had been conquered, but the journey of human evolution was just beginning. And Ilara Chen couldn't wait to see where it would lead them next.